November 26, 2025. The city stirs before sunrise, shrouded in a pale, uncertain light. The air is crisp and the streets are still, as if London itself is holding its breath for the day ahead. London wakes to a cold, gray dawn. Commuters huddle in scarves and heavy coats, their breath visible in the chill, as they make their way through the mist that hangs over the Thames. The city's pulse is slow, but steady, as millions prepare to face another day. A black car glides silently through the polished streets of Mayfair, its windows tinted, its presence almost ghostly in the early light. Inside, a hedge fund manager is already at work, eyes fixed on glowing screens. He chases millions before most have had their first cup of tea, his decisions rippling through global markets before breakfast. Meanwhile, in Newham, a care worker sits in a modest kitchen, staring anxiously at her smart meter. She faces a daily dilemma: should she heat her home or buy dinner for her children? The cost of living crisis is not just a headline, it's a harsh reality for families like hers. This is modern Britain, extreme wealth and deep poverty, side by side, separated by only a few miles, but worlds apart in experience. Headlines boast of booming finance and record property deals, painting a picture of prosperity. But beneath the surface, struggle and desperation grow, hidden in plain sight on crowded streets and in quiet homes. People are leaving the UK, not for adventure, but because home feels broken. Families pack up their lives, saying goodbye to friends and memories, searching for stability and hope elsewhere. In Kensington, tourists marvel at pristine white townhouses, snapping photos for memories. Few notice the cleaners boarding buses before dawn, commuting for hours because they can't afford to live anywhere near the places they clean. Bankers celebrate bonuses that dwarf a lifetime's earnings for most. Their laughter echoes in exclusive bars, a world away from the worries of ordinary Londoners. Food banks see record demand, their lines growing longer each week. Volunteers work tirelessly, but the need keeps rising. Teachers, nurses, and police, once the backbone of society, are now regulars at food banks, forced to seek help just to get by. The social contract, work hard, get ahead, feels shattered. Even those who do everything right find themselves falling behind, their dreams slipping further away. For many, the only answer is to leave and seek hope elsewhere. Young adults say tearful goodbyes at departure gates. Families are split by necessity, not choice. The exodus is real, and it's hollowing out the country. Once busy high streets are lined with empty shops, their windows dark, their futures uncertain. This is not the Britain anyone was promised. Hopes have faded, and the Union Jack hangs limp on forgotten buildings. The divide is growing, and the story of who leaves, and why, defines our era. Every departure is a silent protest, a mark of a system that no longer works for all. It's about more than money. It's about lost hope, broken promises, and a system that feels rigged against ordinary people. The daily drama of inequality plays out in every corner of the city, from playgrounds shadowed by luxury flats to streets where opportunity feels out of reach. The Great British Exodus has begun, and as more people leave, the question remains: who will be left to rebuild what's been lost? London is a playground for the world's super-rich, oligarchs, sheikhs, tech billionaires. The city's most exclusive neighborhoods have become magnets for global wealth, attracting those who seek not just luxury, but also privacy and prestige. Here, fortunes are displayed in the form of supercars, designer boutiques, and sprawling mansions that line the streets like jewels in a crown. Yet behind these grand facades, many of these mansions and penthouses sit empty for most of the year, silent symbols of wealth, disconnected from the city's real life. These properties are often investments, not homes, their darkened windows a stark contrast to the vibrant city around them. In Knightsbridge and Belgravia, entire streets are ghostly, devoid of daily life, while just beyond their borders, families crowd into small, damp and insecure flats, struggling to make ends meet. The gap between abundance and scarcity is visible on every corner. The local high street is shuttered, its shops closed, and its sense of community eroded. Once bustling storefronts now stand abandoned, reflecting the decline of local businesses and the loss of neighborhood spirit. The rich bypass NHS queues with private healthcare, enjoying swift and comfortable treatment, while local schools crumble from lack of funding as private institutions thrive, offering every advantage to those who can afford it. These are not accidents, but the result of deliberate policies that favor global capital and wealthy investors over the needs of local communities. Decisions made in boardrooms and government offices shape the city's destiny, often leaving ordinary people behind. London feels increasingly hostile to ordinary people who are priced out and pushed aside by soaring rents and stagnant wages. The dream of a secure home in the city slips further away for many. The psychological toll of such visible inequality breeds resentment, frustration, and cynicism. People feel powerless as they watch their city transform into a place where only the wealthy can truly belong. Two Britons exist, side by side, one for the rich, filled with comfort and opportunity, and one for everyone else, marked by struggle and uncertainty. For many, the question becomes painfully real. If this country isn't for me, where can I go? The search for belonging and security drives people to consider leaving the only home they've ever known. The empty pantry stands in the shadow of the palace, a powerful reminder that in the heart of immense wealth, hunger and hardship persist, unseen, but ever present. For millions of people, life in the UK has become a relentless daily struggle just to survive. What was once taken for granted, simple comforts, a sense of security, now feels out of reach for so many. Prices for essentials like food, rent, and fuel continue to soar, while wages remain stubbornly stagnant. The weekly shop, once a routine errand, has become a source of anxiety and dread for families across the country. Parents quietly skip meals so their children can eat, and families huddle in coats around the dinner table, too afraid to turn on the heat as energy bills skyrocket. Transport and energy costs devour paychecks, making the daily commute a punishing ordeal and leaving little left for anything else. The social safety net, once a lifeline, is now threadbare. Universal credit barely covers the basics, leaving many to fall through the cracks. Saving for the future feels like a distant fantasy. Joy, spontaneity, and even small pleasures are squeezed out by the constant pressure of making ends meet. Every day people face impossible choices: pay the rent or buy food, heat their homes or pay off mounting debts. There's never enough to go around. The relentless grind wears down resilience and hope, leaving many feeling isolated and exhausted. This is the true cost of the crisis: quiet, grinding, and everywhere, touching every corner of society and every stage of life. The headlines may capture the numbers, but they miss the daily emergency quietly unfolding in homes up and down the country. For many, the idea of escape, of leaving everything behind, feels like the only option left. The treadmill of survival never seems to stop. And so, the search for a way out grows, as more and more people look for hope and opportunity elsewhere, desperate for relief from the unending pressure. For over a decade, real wages have stagnated or fallen. People work harder, but their pay buys less. The promise of a decent life through steady work is broken. The gap between the rich and everyone else has become a gulf. Headlines tout record profits and executive bonuses, while most struggle to pay bills. This fuels a sense of unfairness and the belief that the system is rigged. Trust in politics has collapsed. Promises of leveling up ring hollow. People see leaders out of touch, serving the powerful, not ordinary families. Disengagement and despair grow as faith in change fades. The social fabric unravels. For many, especially the young, leaving feels like the only rational choice. The UK's loss is another country's gain. The UK's brightest and best are leaving, not retirees but young skilled professionals. Doctors, engineers, creatives, graduates of top universities are heading to Australia, Canada, Germany, and the US. They seek higher wages, lower living costs, and better opportunities. Abroad, they see societies that value public services and offer hope. For a junior doctor or software engineer, the choice is clear: better pay, better life elsewhere. It's not just about money, it's about hope and a future. Many feel Britain is insular, pessimistic, and stuck in political turmoil. The decision to leave is hard, but the pull of opportunity is stronger than the ties to home. Each departure is a personal story, but together they're a devastating vote of no confidence. The brain drain accelerates. When a doctor leaves for Canada, it's not just a personal loss, it's a blow to the whole community. Waiting times grow, local economies suffer, and the social fabric frays. Multiply this by thousands, and the hollowing out effect is clear. Businesses struggle to find talent, the NHS enters a vicious cycle of staff loss and worsening conditions. The country's most valuable asset, its people, is slipping away. Communities age and stagnate. Hope fades as young people leave. The local pub empties, the high street decays, and the sense of a shared future disappears. Those left behind feel trapped in decline. The brain drain hits hardest in already struggling regions, deepening inequality. London may absorb the loss, but for many towns, it's a final blow. The slow, quiet death of a community's future is underway. The cycle is hard to break. The cost is more than economic, it's existential. The roots of this crisis run deep. Through austerity and Brexit, years of cuts to public services and social security weakened the nation's foundations. Libraries closed, police numbers fell, the NHS was starved of funds. Brexit added new barriers to trade and ended free movement, fueling labor shortages. For many, Brexit marked a turning point, a retreat from openness and opportunity. Political turmoil and revolving prime ministers have paralyzed government. Instead of tackling real problems, leaders have been mired in crisis management. Trust has eroded, the country feels adrift. Austerity, Brexit, and instability have created a perfect storm. The exodus is the bitter harvest of these choices. The consequences are clear. A poorer, more divided, less hopeful nation. Two crises drive the exodus: housing and healthcare. The dream of home ownership is dead for millions. Rents soar, and security is a memory. Social housing has vanished, replaced by expensive, insecure rentals. Abroad, people see affordable homes and stronger tenant rights. The NHS, once a national treasure, is crumbling. Waiting lists grow, staff burn out, care is harder to access. The promise of cradle-to-grave care feels distant. These are not just policy failures, they're failures of a developed state's basic duties. Families live with daily stress and insecurity. For those who can, the lure of a country with decent healthcare and affordable homes is irresistible. The system is broken, and people know it. The search for stability and dignity drives many to leave. The crisis is personal, urgent, and everywhere. The exodus is a national crisis, a slow erosion of hope and trust. It's not just about economics, but about what kind of country Britain wants to be. Will it be a playground for the rich, or a nation that invests in its people? Losing so much talent is a wound that won't heal easily. The warning signs are clear. The steady stream of departures is a damning verdict. But decline isn't inevitable, it's a choice. Other countries have faced similar challenges and chosen to invest in people, housing, and public services. They've built fairer, more hopeful societies. Britain stands at a crossroads: continue down the path of decline, or choose to rebuild. The time to act is now. We can create a society where hard work is rewarded and every child has a chance. The choice is ours. But the window is closing.